66 million years ago, the Earth was a masterpiece of life. But beneath the surface, a monster was.
Waking up. Deep in the crust, tectonic forces were reaching a breaking point that would change history forever. It was a normal morning in the Dinosaur Valley. The sun warmed the scales of the mighty giants.
But suddenly, the birds stopped singing. A low, vibrating hum began to rise from the very deep soil.
Then, it happened. The Earth didn't just shake, it began to split. A massive crack opened across the
Part of the valley. It was as if the world was being torn apart by an invisible giant.
Dinosaurs roared in confusion. The ground they had walked on for millions of years was no longer solid.
The abyss grew wider by the second. Deep within the chasm, the orange glow of molten magma appeared. As the Earth split in two, the entire Dinosaur Valley began to slide into the hungry, burning depths. Predators and prey were forced together in a final, desperate struggle for survival. There was nowhere left to run. The sound was deafening, the scream of the Earth itself as the continental plates shifted with violent force.
This wasn't just an earthquake. It was a total geological collapse. The valley was being swallowed by the...
Above, the sky turned a dark, bruised purple. The air became thick with sulfur and hot ash. Volcanoes, triggered by the massive split, began to erupt in a chain reaction across the bleeding landscape. Every tremor sent shockwaves that traveled thousands of miles. The very foundations of the Cretaceous world were crumbling. Massive boulders, the size of houses, were hurled into the air like pebbles. Gravity seemed to have failed. In the center of the valley, a lake was swallowed instantly as the floor dropped into the abyss. Within minutes, the lush paradise was replaced by a jagged, burning scar that stretched across the entire continent.
The survivors stood at the edge of the new world, looking down into the darkness of their home.
But the terror was far from over. The split was just the beginning of a much larger catastrophe. From space, the Earth looked like a broken mirror. The fracture lines were visible even through the clouds.
The atmosphere began to heat up. The friction of the moving plates raised the temperature to unbearable levels.
Water from the oceans poured into the new chasms, creating massive steam explosions that shook the very stars. The giants that once ruled were now helpless against the raw power of a planet in violent transition.
Beneath the ash, the memory of the valley was buried. Millions of years of evolution wiped away instantly.
But how did this happen? Scientists believe a combination of an asteroid and extreme volcanic activity was responsible.
The impact of the Chicxulub asteroid sent a shockwave so powerful, it literally cracked the Earth's delicate crust.
This crack followed the ancient fault lines, tearing through the most populated dinosaur regions like a hot knife. The Dinosaur Valley was located right above one of these weak points. It stood no chance against fate. As the valley was swallowed, it took with it the most diverse ecosystem the world had ever seen. The darkness lasted for decades. The Earth was a silent, broken shell of its former, beautiful, green self. But even in this broken world, the laws of life remained. The Earth began to heal its wounds. The scars of the split became the valleys and mountain ranges we recognize in our modern world today.
We walk over the graves of these giants every day, unaware of the violence that lies beneath.
The story of the valley that was swallowed is a reminder of how fragile our beautiful planet is. Nature gives, and nature takes away. The T-Rex was king, until the very Earth decided to move.
Every fossil we find is a piece of this puzzle, a witness to the day the world split.
It was a moment of pure destruction that paved the way for a new kind of life. Us.
The legacy of the Dinosaur Valley lives on in the rocks, the soil, and the very air. The king is gone, but the story of its fall will echo through the ages for all time.
If you want to witness more epic moments from Earth's history, follow Eclesso. Every story comes alive.